Hello everybody, this is GamerGar. Welcome back to another episode of the expanded series. We are now in the second week of winter. We're almost finished the first year. It's going to be so interesting to see what we can achieve before we get into year number 2. Now I have been saying throughout this challenge, is it possible to get perfection in year 1? Thanks to a lot of people from the comments, I now know that it isn't. We do have to wait until year 2 and year 3 for certain events to transpire. Of course, we could get perfection waivers, but I feel that would just ruin the challenge. And we've already gotten our fair share of waivers in the past couple of challenges. So for now, we are going to go with natural perfection. So we're just going to get into the casino today just so we can pick up the alien rare crow, because we need to get all the rare crows so we can get the deluxe scarecrow. That's a craftable that we need in order to get perfection. Now, we actually made a bit of a boo-boo in fall. We forgot to go to the Halloween event. So we never picked up the witch rare crow. So we will have to grab that next time round. Now when I went into the club here, I noticed a statue of treasure. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I don't think you can get this without the expanded mod. If you can, I totally sidetracked it. So we are going to go for the alien rare crow and the statue of treasure because I'm really curious as to see what that actually does. So I just kept betting 100 here on the slot machines. I was winning more times than not. Eventually, I got some really good combinations. I got 3 melons there. That shot me right up to 22,700. That was enough to get the alien rare crow as well as the statue of treasure. Now, this statue of treasure is absolutely amazing. It's not to be underestimated. This beauty gives you 1 artifact trove every single day. After that, we get a cool cutscene here where we get to visit Claire's house. Now, you can't visit this house manually. This is just through a cutscene. As far as I'm aware, you can only get this house through a cutscene, but it might change in the future. So Claire wanted you over for dinner. We will lend a hand in the kitchen, of course, and this is one of the things I love about Claire's character. She's just so calm, so natural, so down to earth. There isn't any, huge amounts of drama with her, and that's one of the main reasons I decided to marry this character. But I suppose the other reason would be that I just wanted to see what it would be like post-marriage as well, to see what kind of cutscenes we get. There will come a time where we will give all of the Stardew Valley expanded NPCs a chance. We will give Lance a go, we will download the mod and we'll give Morris a go, and we'll give some other people a go as well. So for now, we're going to go back into the volcano dungeon and we are detonating nodes. Cinder shards is what we're looking for because we want to do more enchanting, we want to do more ring combinations. When I went up here to the chest, I picked up dragon scale boots. These were badly needed. That extra defense is something we really need. It was then finally time to get married to good old Claire. Life is going to be different from now on, and if we can have a couple of babies, that'd be great as well. The main reason we need to get married is because we need to grab that star drop. All the star drops are needed for perfection. Now, before we could enjoy our happily ever after, we got a cutscene here inside our enchanted grove, where a new NPC comes to visit us. Her name is Camilla. And Camilla resides over in a place called the Crimson Badlands. And that is a new location we get to explore in the next couple of days. And let me tell you something, if you think the Highlands was hard, the Crimson Badlands is a fierce, harsh place as well. Enemies pop up out of the ground all over the place. There's a lot of very interesting locations we get to explore here. There's also a lot of NPCs we can interact with. But so far I haven't found any NPCs I can do relationships with. So you can talk to lots of people, but they don't have relationship statuses, so you can't give them gifts or things like that. Because we've made over 10 million gold in total, Mr. Key sent me a piggy bank. Now, beware, this golden piggy bank will take your money, but you cannot take your money back out. If you can, someone please let me know in the comments, because I spent a good while putting money into it to realise I can't get it back. This reminds me of Hollow Knight, where you find that merchant and you can give her loads of money, and once you give her enough money she disappears. So the game kind of just, teaches you a harsh lesson that way as well. But you know what, I like these kind of random wacky elements. It just kind of changes up the game a bit. It adds a little bit of mischief, and I think a little bit of mischief is good sometimes, Today was Gunther's birthday and we were going to capitalise on this. He gets an iridium quality rabbit's foot. It pushed him right up to 9 out of 10 hearts. I was thinking about giving him a star drop tea, but I decided not to because he only had 1 heart to go, and all we have to do is give him a couple of more gifts, talk to him a few times, and that'll be it. So we made a new ring here, a crab shell ring combined with a slime charmer ring. This is going to come in oh so handy for the Highlands and for the Crimson Badlands. The slime charmer ring will make us immune to all slime damage, and the crab shell ring combined with the dragon scale boots that we got will dramatically increase our defense, and we need that because some of the monsters here hit so hard. We picked up a schedule here. This is the Galdern Outpost shop schedule. We have Alicia, Camilla and Isaac, and they sell all different things, and it just tells you when they pop up. And a lot of them sell potions and elixirs that can give you some crazy stat increases. So it's definitely worth our time to come back here every couple of days and interact with all of the different NPCs you can talk to. Now, we're using the Rod of Ice out here because it immobilizes enemies. This is one of the best trinkets I find if you're fighting a lot of tough monsters and you don't want them to get too close. But what I also found from doing the Highlands was that I was missing a lot of enemies, and the Rod of Ice was really helping me out, so those enemies weren't getting too close, they weren't wiping my health out, and I just wasn't taking huge amounts of life elixirs every couple of seconds. Now, while I was here, I pulled up the map, and there's a big castle village up there. I, for the life of me, could not find a way into this village. So hopefully in the future, I'll be able to get in there and explore all of the new additions that this mod has to offer. If you can't get into the castle village, just let me know in the comments, because I think I read somewhere a while back before I started this mod that the mod wasn't fully finished, and the developers of this mod were creating new assets to put into it. But if you take a look at this wall, it's absolutely huge. The door is really cool. It has all these little icons in front of it going around in a big semicircle. So it would be really nice to get in there to see what's up with it. The magical barrier prevents you from entering Castle Village. So maybe one of these days we can get rid of that magical barrier and we can go inside. I suppose the reason why they have a magical barrier up is because there's just huge amounts of monsters out here, including undead adventurers as well that we get to slay. Those scorpions that pop up out of the holes are absolutely no joke. They don't have huge amounts of HP, so you can kill them in 1 or 2 strikes, but they hit crazy hard. So I suppose you could just think of them as glass cannons, you know? All of those weapons on the ground, the lava katana, the obsidian edges, the tempered broadswords, you can pick those up and you can sell those. You can even use those as well in combat if you want to. New types of serpents are attacking us out here. That was like a shadow serpent or a void serpent. They hit hard, they have lots of HP. Now that big one there, I think that spawns every single day. It has a crazy amount of HP and it hits quite hard. What I don't like about it is that when you start whacking it, similar to when you whack the large serpents in the hardened version of the Skull Caverns, it starts to float away. So it's kind of hard to stack on huge amounts of damage and kill it within a few seconds. Now look, eventually I did kill it, I just forgot to record when it died, but it dropped the void shard. I don't know what that is used for, but I do know I have to sell at least one of those for the shipping bin collection. I come across a new location here in the Crimson Badlands. This place is called the Iridium Quarry, and as you can see, it's filled up to the top with iridium nodes and meteorites, and we can mine open most of those meteorites. Now, as far as I know, I can't get up onto the cliffs, so there's a lot of nodes I can't get. If I can get up higher, someone please let me know. But I spent a good deal of time here with bombs, wiping out all of those lovely iridium nodes. I also found another place here too, which was absolutely teeming with enemies. And there was a cave there, I think it's called a treasure cave, and I really wanted to get inside to see what that place was all about. Now before we can get inside, the game isn't just going to hand it over to us on a silver platter. We had to fight our way through. There was serpents coming at us left, right and centre. There was enemies pouring out of the mines, but once we got in, we got a cool cutscene here. And we got some text to say, "You may just be the one." I imagine this is just Mr. Key talking to us again, you know, because anything mysterious from this game is normally related to Mr. Key. Now all of those treasure chests can be picked up no problem at all, and all you need to get access to the big chest is a prismatic shard. Thankfully, we had one on us from mining open all of the nodes at the Iridium Quarry. When we opened up, we picked up a Galaxy Slingshot. Slingshots are something I don't use that much, but I decided to try that out to see how good it actually was. The next day, Camilla paid us a visit, and she wants to fix up the bridge here, which would give us access to a much larger portion of the farm. I mean, crazy big. But we need to gather a lot of resources to fix it. Void souls, red slime eggs, monster fruits, swamp essences, snatcher worms, cinder shards, iridium bars. We also need hardwood. So as you can see, we need a lot of stuff. Now I had the hardwood, the iridium bars, the cinder shards, I had the red slime eggs, I just needed a few more void souls. The big thing there, the gate blocker, was the monster fruits. They're in the greenhouse right now and they are growing, they just haven't fully grown yet. So it's just a waiting game now to get that bridge fixed. And because they're in the greenhouse, there isn't much more we can do to make them grow faster. We do have speaker output down to dramatically increase the time in which they grow, but we still have to wait a couple of more days for it to happen. So we're going back to the Galderan outpost today, and look at all of the goodies this NPC had. A tempered galaxy dagger. I would have picked up that weapon in a heartbeat if it had crit power or crit damage, but it had none. So even if you crit all the time, it still wouldn't be doing a whole lot of damage to totally eradicate enemies. She sold an undead fish for 4,000 gold, and this got me thinking, can I do some fishing here? There's surely some fishies here that I haven't gotten before. The Galderan mage boots were quite cool as well, but the basilisk paw does the exact same thing, and the boots didn't give any sort of defense, so I didn't get them. There's two types of fish we can get here. The first was a bonefish, which was pretty cool. It goes our quality sells for over 1,000 gold. And the second you could put up was an undead fish. Now, in order for me to get this fish, I had to take a bit of a beating here, and I wasn't going to cancel this fish to fend off the enemies. So once I picked up the undead fish, I got killed myself. The fish took me down with it. But it didn't really matter. I didn't lose a whole lot of stuff when I got killed, and I made a pretty fast recovery. More importantly, that's 2 fish now added to our fishing collection. It was time to get some good old revenge. We do have a very strong weapon with Crusader, so we were doing a lot of bonus damage to all these mummies, and it didn't take us too long to wipe out this giant void serpent. This time I made sure not to hit the pause on the recording, and as we can see, we get another void shard for destroying it, golden mystery boxes, spicy eels, we get huge amounts of void essences, so it's a nice little enemy to farm every single day to get those goodies. So we picked up more void souls, went back to the farm. The mushroom logs are now finally teeming with forageables that we collect. So we're going to get lots of different types of mushrooms, and all of these mushrooms can be sold for some pretty nice money. It was Harvey's birthday today. My good friend Harvey gets a gold star rabbit's foot. That puts him right up to 8 out of 8 hearts, which was great. That was Harvey fully maxed out. Getting more rusty shields today from artifact spots. I also visited lands, and I'm giving him 3 out of the 4 crops that he needed. Still waiting for the monster fruit to fully grow. It was now time to give Mortis more gifts. We got Mortis up to 8 out of 10 hearts. Hopefully this will activate some more cutscenes with Mortis. We're now planting a huge assortment of different trees. So we've got some birch seeds we put in the ground there, because once we tap those we're going to get back some resources. I planted some fir trees as well, because we need to tap those too to get back fur wax, I think you get. We're now going to donate some items here for the raccoon bundle. We're going to give in a spoon and some geodes. We get back the jungle tank, and the raccoon shop has been expanded. We're doing more foraging today, and as we can see, I put down some nice flooring to protect all of the tree seeds I planted. Because we got Morris' relationship points up even more, he wanted to tell me about new Joja development projects. He also wanted to tell me that he wants to turn over a new leaf, and he really wants to help the growth of Pelican Down. Morris is now a completely new person. So we're going to give Morris 500,000 gold, and that is going to install the movie theatre into Stardew Valley. That's going to make it a lot easier for us now to get friendship points up. It was time for the new community quest. We're going to take the biome balance because it's way easier now to pull up huge amounts of lakefish than it is to target down perches individually. And the biome balance won't take us long to do because we can just use challenge bait and we can put up 2 or 3 fish every single time. So we gave Gus an orange. We also gave him a refined quartz as part of Help Want the quest to get more friendship points with Gus. And we're now going to finish off the biome balance today using challenge bait. And challenge bait is great for quests like this because if you get a perfect catch, you're always going to get 3 of the same fish. And I always recommend to use 2 carp bobbers if you're using the challenge bait to make your fishing bar that little bit bigger. So Morris and the lads have now put in a movie theatre, which is great. I had a look at the key quests today. We had the 4 precious stones and the hungry challenge. We'll take the 4 precious stones because it awards more key gems. So Morris wants to permanently move to Stardew Valley, but he needs us to help gather some resources. So we need to go now and get some iron bars, 60 in total, so Morris can build his house. Thankfully, I have hundreds of iron bars just sitting around in a chest, so it didn't take us too long to complete the townhouse project and get huge amounts of money off Morris. We got 60,000 gold, which was great. We're now going to visit Robin here. We're going to purchase all the recipes she has, and we're going to fully upgrade Pan's caravan into a thriving home for her and Penny. We're also going to do some upgrades to our own house as well, and we're going to add some additional rooms. This way, we can fill it up with artisan machines so we don't have to build more sheds. We're going to bring Sandy to the cinema because we really want to get more friendship points with her. We're also going to give her the rabbit's foot while we're here as well. Because she's all the way out in the desert, and I know we can get to the desert pretty easily now, she's one of the NPCs where we just haven't invested a whole lot of time with, so we will try to max her out in the next couple of weeks. Because it's winter, we saw the miracle of Cold Star Ranch. We finally got around to giving Jodie the cauliflower she asked for way back when in spring, so that made Jodie happy, which was great. I went to the night market just to see if there was anything that I could get, any sort of recipes that some of these NPCs might have, because we're using the expanded mod if there wasn't. So I just purchased the portrait and I headed off to do other things. I went back down into the Badlands today to get more of those void souls, because I still needed a lot more to fix up the bridge, and I was still waiting for the monster fruit. While I was down here, I wanted to go back into the treasure cave to see if all of those beautiful treasure chests have respawned. Unfortunately, they haven't. However, we could still access the big treasure chest, and we needed a prismatic shard to open it. Unfortunately, we just got back another galaxy slingshot. I thought I might get something different because the chest doesn't go away. Apparently, the galaxy slingshot says that if you put iridium ores inside it, they are given cosmic energy. Now, just so you know, I did put some ores in it. I started fighting enemies with it, and it was just doing terrible damage. Terrible damage. So I don't see how that slingshot is any bit good. But if I'm using it wrong, let me know in the comments, because when it comes to slingshots, I'm a total noob. Clint is breaking open more golden mystery boxes, and we finally built up Morris's house. Look what Morris has inside his house, a Super Joja Cola machine, and all we need to get a Super Joja Cola is a broken CD. Now let me show you why Joja is superior to everything else. One Super Joja Cola gives you 2 luck, 50 magnetism and 2 speed. That is going to override the use of triple shot espressos, and look how long it lasts for. 18 in-game minutes and 40 seconds. That's almost a whole day, which is absolutely insane. So I have huge amounts of broken CDs back on the farm. I'm going to come back there later and get stupid amounts of Super Joja Colas. I mean, what a perk, you know, to get Morris's relationship points up. So we're back on the farm and we're just harvesting starfruit, turning most of it into starfruit wine so we can sell it to get more money. We went to the night market after doing some farm management to get the Solar Kingdom painting. We're now going to Ginger Island and we're just harvesting all of the starfruit here as well. And once all of the starfruit has been harvested, we're just going to put back down more starfruit seeds. So it's just the usual rinse and repeat there with the starfruit. Now we're going to make some dehydrators. Reason being, it only takes 1 day for the dehydrator to convert all of your lovely starfruit into dried starfruit. We also made over 500,000 gold today too from selling starfruit wine. The next day I decided to do a big Skull Cavern run because we had the key quest for precious stones and that was the first of many prismatic shards we're going to get today. So we spammed the staircases, hit all the treasure floors, got down to floor 100. Because we had the magnifying glass, we got the secret note to tell us to come to floor 100. So we picked up the iridium snake milk and that increased our health by 25, which was great. We now have enough rain totems to make it rain for the whole month if we want to, which I thought was hilarious. Picking up more crystallariums is always a blessing for us. The more crystallariums we get, the more jades we can put into it, the more staircases we can amass. Now we ended up doing a pretty good run today. We got lots of prismatic shards, we got lots of iridium ores, we can turn those into iridium bars. If we want to sell bars for huge amounts of money, we can do so. We will keep a lot of the bars though, so we can make lots of craftables later on, including iridium sprinklers. Because we had the 4 precious stones complete, let's just take a look at the rest of the stuff we got. Over 746 iridium ores, 3 crystallariums. We got some battery packs, rubies, cloth, other bits and bobs. It was a nice run. Once that quest was complete and put us up to 76 key gems, we're now going to go ahead and we're going to get the hopper recipe for 50 and the deluxe fertilizer for 20. Just a few more key recipes to go, and then we can spend the rest of our money on pressure nozzles and things like that to make even more money. So I set up a little area here on our farm for dehydrators, and any excess starfruit we now have we can put into the dehydrators to make even more money. It's just better than selling the starfruit raw. Eventually I will come around to making more kegs because kegs are still the best way to go, but the dehydrators still have their place when it comes to making huge amounts of money very quickly. Because the kegs take a good few days, the dehydrator just takes a day. The slime hutch is such an underestimated passive moneymaker. Look at all of the slime I got there from the slime balls. All that slime can go into the slime egg presses to get back slime eggs, and they sell for huge amounts of money, especially if you get the red ones or the purple ones. We're going to make some butter churners now today, and this is exclusive to Stardew Valley Expanded. We're going to put a lot of our milk into those to get butter, and butter is something we need to craft a lot of recipes. We also need to sell some butter as well for the shipping bin collection. So we're now going to go ahead and we're going to put all that milk to use. So the henchman is going to help us out here, and he's going to give us a new recipe. It's called the marsh tonic. I actually haven't made or used the marsh tonic yet, so I don't know what it actually does. But look, it's an extra thing that we needed for perfection, so thanks very much, Mr. Henchman. And that's not the only thing the henchman is going to give us. Eventually, he will unlock a new zone behind his hut, and that's going to give us access to some really cool statues. So the marsh tonic has now been added to our repertoire of things we can craft. So we're going to pour some star drop teas into the henchman to get his relationship points up even more, because after playing Stardew Valley Expanded for so long, I have now come to the realization that I need to max out all of the expanded characters as quickly as possible. 767,000 gold today, thanks to a combination of starfruit wine and dried starfruit. So we're just giving Claire more gifts now today in the hopes that she will soon enough give us that star drop that we so badly want. When we went outside of the house, it was time to collect all of these hard-earned iridium bars. We got well over 140 of them there, which was great. I then went back to Mars's house and I traded in lots of Joja CDs to get huge amounts of super Joja colas. Then it's back to Clint to break open huge amounts of artifact troves. Once we were finished with this, the rest of the artifacts that we needed primarily were Stardew Valley Expanded artifacts. Now we got lucky and we picked up a faded button down here by Shearwater Bridge. We just needed, I think it was the slab or the stone of Joja, and that would complete the entirety of the museum collection. So we're almost there with that. And for us to get that stone or slab of Joja, we can do some hoeing around the farm, up in the mountain area, around the Adventurers Guild, or in the mines. So yes, I did pull up the wiki because I really wanted to complete the museum by year number 1. We finally got the monster fruits. That completed the bridge, and we're going to give one more monster fruit to Lance as well. That's going to complete the big quest that Lance gave us, and that is going to give us access to another location. So times are getting exciting. So we are now nearing the end of this Let's Play, but first let's head up to the summit here and pick up more forageables. We got more winter star roses and thistles. I come up here every season just to make sure I don't miss out on anything important when it comes to the shipping bin collection. I also went down to the desert here in the hopes to get one of those Joja stones, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. I got everything else except what I was looking for. So the rest of the day is literally spent me running around looking for hoeing spots, and I'm just hoeing them up. I do have the archaeology enchant, which means there's a much greater chance that when I hit a hoeing spot, I will get something that I can use for the museum. Now we do have a good 8 days left before this year is finished, so I'm very hopeful that within those 8 days, I will get the last artifact to finish out the museum. It would be great to get that done before we hit year number 2. That night, the henchman paid me a visit. He wants me to visit him tomorrow in the marshlands so he can show me something cool, and I can tell you right now, it's going to be something awesome. We made over 1 million gold today, and that is the end of another Stardew Valley Let's Play. There's one episode to go before we finish out the first year, so I'm very excited. Thanks a million everyone for watching these Let's Plays. I really do appreciate you. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you very soon in the next Stardew Valley challenge.